On the 24th of February of 2011, I was sitting in the auditorium of Egate Business School listening to Dr. James Austin and Armando Laborde talking about a new advance in the field of social entrepreneurship called hybrid value chain solutions. Through some phone analogies and reflections about a trip to Oaxaca, Dr. Austin presented his research agenda and explained the potential that companies and NGOs have to create hybrid value chain solutions to solve social problems. From all the presentation, what captured my attention the most was trying to understand why an eminent professor from such a prestigious university was traveling to Oaxaca. Back then, I wasn't too sure what I could do with an MBA. The only thing I was aware was that I was able to start this program thanks to a scholarship I received from the government in Mexico, and my only desire was to make a plan to help the 98 of Mexicans who haven't had the same educational opportunities as me. Six months later, while I was getting ready for class, I opened my computer to check the news, and to my surprise, I saw that just 2 miles away from my house, the most violent and dangerous drug cartel in Mexico set fire on a casino. This strategy caused the death of 53 people, including some of my closest neighbors. This terrorist attack was classified as the most violent and bloodiest in Mexican history. As the months passed, the crime and violence rates in my city increased. Every week, I receive emails and calls from my family and best friends telling me about kidnappings, murders, and other horrible stories. These events reinforced my desire and sense of urgency to take action. Therefore, I decided to research more about hybrid value chains and the work that companies and NGOs do to find potential solutions to large social problems. I was impressed with these cases, but in the midst of the social crisis and hopeless despair, what inspired me the most was identifying the role of a third agent who was not in the books, the case studies, or the leading journals. I saw this agent running in the streets. They were millions of youth that don't belong to any company or NGO, but they have a deep desire and a strong passion to use their lives to make an impact in society. This large demographic group with unsatisfied needs was not just in Mexico, but also in the US, in Egypt, and all around the world. And I really wanted to find out who was doing the best job in harnessing the energy and potential of this new generation. Since then, I decided to take a more active role and start to travel and explore. My first trip was to Harvard Social Enterprise Conference, and during a workshop led by Lara Moon, I learned about the Social Innovation Lab, and I envisioned myself sitting in that classroom taking this class. I also got the chance to meet a game developer from MIT, with whom I had a conversation about developing a mobile game application that can better connect youth to make an impact on society. Right after this conference, I also established contact with the UN office in Mexico to explore ways in which this game application could help accomplish the UN Millennium Goals. A few months later, and in partnership with the Changemaker Hub, I implemented a creative campaign to raise awareness with students, faculty, provosts, and even the president of the university to work on projects related to these goals. During this time, I also received an online article saying that Jorge Dominguez, Harvard Vice President of International Affairs, visited my home university in Mexico to promote Harvard Graduate School offers, and he expressed his interest in increasing the number of exchange students from Tec de Monterrey to Harvard. After reading this amazing news, I got excited, thinking that the vision I had of being in the Social Innovation Lab could become real. So I contacted several professors and submitted my application to this course. I also began to read several books to learn more about the work of some of the best game developers for social change. In June, I made a trip to New York to hear them speak at the Games for Change conference. Assisting to this conference was a turning point in my life, because I met there Marina Kim, director of Ashoka U, who became interested in the idea of my social game. She invited me to meet her team in DC and provide me with an application to incubate my project in their office. In preparation to fill out this application, I decided to take a trip to Africa to get to know Ashoka Fellows and complete a more deep research at the UN headquarters in Nairobi, Kenya. I also had a wonderful opportunity to take an experiential learning seminar in social entrepreneurship with Professor Kash Rangan from Harvard Business School. Interacting with leading social entrepreneurs and completing this seminar was a life-changing experience for me. It ignited my passion to take the next steps with my project, and I was able to draw a more clear framework of a mobile game application designed for new generations to advance their impact in society. This innovation will allow players to learn, create, and share case studies and best practices about social entrepreneurship. In the form of a video documentary, the first element of the game will consist in a case study that will present a real world problem affecting a specific community group. As part of the Learn app, players will be able to learn the culture and language of this community group in natural and authentic ways through gameplay, songs, and quests. The second phase of the game will take place in the real world. Participants will travel to the location and work in the process of implementing a hybrid value chain solution in partnership with NGOs and corporations. After this experiential learning trip and as part of the gaming experience, players will be asked to share the trip reflections through digital expressions, online affiliations, social networks, blogs, and circulations. All game activities will be graded using achievement badges, which will serve to measure performance and learn from results. They will bring successful efforts to scale, and we will be able to communicate progress efficiently to future game players.